Welcome back to another episode of I'm picking this guy, but there's a little bit of value on this guy, don't you think? I'm getting tired of that shit too. But look, there are so many gigantic underdogs on this card, it's fucking insane. But still, I've got to refrain from even a sprinkle here because I'm pretty sure Ian Garry's going to win this fight. Kenan Song is a much more experienced guy. He's 7 years older and he's got 25 fights as opposed to just 10 for Ian Garry. Kenan Song, he's got 9 wins in his 19 wins, he's got 9 wins via TKO, 8 wins via submission, and 2 via decision. Very well rounded guy, on paper anyway. At the UFC level so far, he's been pretty much a KO guy, KO or bust, or tight fight with Derek Krantz. But either way, I think he's not the type of guy to exploit the holes that Ian Garry currently has in his game. Even though Ian Garry was getting tagged by Jordan Williams in his first fight in the UFC there. He got a knockout in the first round anyway, so it doesn't matter much. But Ian Garry's primary weakness, as I see it, is just being blanketed, like pretty much what Darian Weeks did to him. Darian Weeks gave him a hell of a fight. That was really close, and it's because Darian Weeks was in Ian Garry's face and neutralizing him, stuffing him against the cage. And I just think Kenan Song doesn't have it in him to fight that way. He's not going to be able to fight that way. And Ian Garry, he's got 3 inches of height, 2 inches of reach. He's definitely a level above the guys that Kenan Song's fought in the UFC, Callan Potter and Bobby Nash. These are guys who were good fighters on the regional circuit, but they were phased out of the UFC immediately. Ian Garry, he's going to be here to stay, and he's one of those guys that could be the future. It's just right now he's got to polish up his game, really work, especially on that defensive grappling where he ran into some trouble, just couldn't get Darian Weeks off of him. But he's 25 years old. He's going to be learning shit. Not that he didn't know the fucking whizzer and the underhook and this and that, but it'll all be more methodical as he develops. And I do think that basic type of shit that he's going to have to master, he's not in danger of slipping in that realm against a guy like Kenan Song. This is a very good matchup and a very favorable matchup. That's why he's a minus 700 here. There is value on Kenan Song just from experience alone, but I think his primary path to victory is a knockout. And Ian Garry hasn't shown a weak chin at all, so I'm just taking Garry to win. I do think Garry would win by decision, but he could easily get a finish. I know he's trying to turn it up here. Kenan Song's been finished 3 times out of his 6 losses. The other 3, of course, by decision. He's been knocked out before by Max Griffin, which is not a great look, and that was a really bad knockout. And I do think Ian Garry, even though he's turning into more of a point fighter and he might be better off in the UFC, he's still a dangerous enough striker where he can put Kenan Song away. So, not touching this. Gun to my head, I'll go Ian Garry by decision. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit. Check out my other videos.